The DC tidal basin is famous for its cherry blossoms. Is that really the only place to see them? Hey team, cherry blossoms are one of the highlights of the DC area, but sometimes going into DC itself and fighting the crowds is just not high on your list. Last week, we covered Maryland locations that you can check out and get just as good of a cherry blossom experience. And this week, we're going to look at some spots in Virginia. Meadowlark Botanical Gardens in Vienna is a bit of a trip away from the tidal basin in DC, but it's well worth it. The 95-acre oasis from the city always offers great garden scenery, and cherry blossoms are no exception. The cherry blossoms in Meadowlark can be found in the main garden entryway, as well as around several of the scenic ponds. Most of the trees at Meadowlark bloom around the same time as the tidal basin trees, but there are also trees that bloom a little later. These trees can be found in the atrium parking lot and outside the park on the perimeter trail. Schaus Village is a neighborhood in Vienna, less than a mile from Wolf Trap Performing Arts Center. One of the main roads through the neighborhood, Schaus Road, is lined with cherry trees that are the more late-blooming varieties. In addition, the small lake in the neighborhood is also ringed by cherry trees. This means this area is a perfect spot to see some awesome cherry blossoms without all the crowds. Additionally, once you're done admiring the cherry blossoms, you can head over to Wolf Trap for a hike or a picnic. Arlington Cemetery is probably not the first place you'd think of to see cherry blossoms, but think again. Enjoy some time in the cemetery and admire the 417 cherry trees. In addition to the same kinds of trees that are found at the tidal basin, there are other varieties such as the weeping cherry tree and the native black cherry tree. Some of the main locations to see the trees include the Confederate Memorial, the Memorial Amphitheater, and the JFK gravesite. One additional highlight is that one of the tree varieties is known to occasionally sport bright colors in the fall and winter. Located right in Old Town Alexandria, the Carlisle House Historic Park may seem from the outside to be just another museum. Once you look past the facade though, you'll find it's actually got a whole garden section where you can check out some great cherry blossoms. Once you've had your fill of the gardens and cherry blossoms, head to the historic house to admire the architecture and learn a little more about what life was like in colonial America. While most people only think of seeing cherry blossoms from land, why not be the rebel and see them from the water instead? Choose one of the many waterboat tours that gives you a unique view of the blossoms and the shoreline that you otherwise wouldn't see. There are plenty of options to choose from, some short, some long, some that include meals, and some that simply provide a different view. Some of them even have an accompanying audio tour. Find one that works for you and tell me how it went in the comments. Founders Park is located right on the banks of the Potomac. The park boasts several trails as well as a volleyball court, but this time of year, the main highlight is the cherry blossoms. With trees spread throughout the park, you'll have plenty of options for your cherry blossom adventures. Additionally, there are plenty of benches throughout so you can enjoy the view of the blossoms and the river as a backdrop. If you get hungry, head over to Old Town and check out one of the many awesome restaurants in the area. Once part of George Washington's property, River Farm is also located on the banks of the Potomac. The farm is the home of the American Horticultural Society headquarters, and although they don't have quite as many cherry blossom options as some of the places I've covered so far, they do have a small grove of cherry trees near the front gate. Once you've enjoyed your time with the blossoms, be sure to wander through the rest of the farm and enjoy the various other plants in bloom. Be sure to check out their Facebook or Instagram page to check if they're open. Hours can vary based on the weather and other unexpected events. Finally, the tidal basin. So you're insisting on going to the tidal basin cherry blossoms, maybe instead of or in addition to the places I talked about today. And I don't blame you. If you haven't already been, they're awesome and quite gorgeous. That said, getting to them can be a bit of a hassle. Here are some quick tips to make your life a little easier checking them out. Going early means you miss most of the crowds, and you also can get some awesome pictures with the sunrise colors. This one doesn't always work, but there are plenty of times when you go later in the day. Think about the time the sun is setting and the crowds have thinned out. Another perk of this time is that you usually get great light for photos. A lot of people go at the end of the week or on the weekend. If you're able to, try to go early in the week. Finding parking near the tidal basin can be a headache, especially when you've got tour buses alongside just normal cars. Do yourself a favor and consider taking some sort of public transit, a cab, or rideshare. We've covered a lot of options today for your cherry blossom adventures. What do you think? Did any of them speak to you? Let me know in the comments. And if you're moving to the area and have more questions, be sure to watch some of my other videos and don't hesitate to send me a text or email or even just give me a call to chat. In the meantime, please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video and you want to see more like it.